Türkiye borders 8 countries. Many think that it's actually 7, but the country also shares a tiny 17-kilometer long border with Azerbaijan's Nakhchivan exclave. The other countries that border Türkiye are Bulgaria and Greece in the west, Georgia, Armenia, and Iran in the east, and Syria and Iraq in the south. What is quite interesting about this map is that 6 different language scripts are used in these 8 countries. Bulgarian uses the Cyrillic script, Greek uses the Greek script, Georgian uses the Georgian script, Armenian uses the Armenian script, Azerbaijani uses the Latin script, Persian uses the Arabic script with some modifications, Syria and Iraq use the Arabic script, and Türkiye itself uses the Latin script in the Turkish language. The 1965 population census in Türkiye was the last census in which the citizens were asked of their native languages. It's probably the most substantial recent source we have about the second languages in Türkiye. So here are the most common languages after Turkish that were spoken in 1965 in every city. You can see that central and eastern Türkiye are dominated by Kurdish. The northeastern cities in the Black Sea region have more diversity. You can see Georgian and Laz, which are Kartvelian languages, and Circassian, which is a Northwest Caucasian language, and Greek, which is, well, everyone knows Greek. As we go south, we see that 4 cities have Arabic as a second language. But the real diversity starts in western Türkiye. The Thracian lands of Türkiye are dominated by Pomak, which is a Slavic language that is very similar to Bulgarian. Istanbul, the most populated city in Türkiye, has Greek as the most common second language. As we go south, we see Georgian, Bosnian, Circassian, and Greek. In Izmir, the third most populated city in Türkiye, surprisingly the most common second language is Bosnian. I would expect that to be Greek. Well, it took me a long time to do research and make this map, but considering how interesting this information is, it was worth the hassle. To make this even more fun, I made another map. But this time I went a further 30 years back to the 1935 population census and visualized the most common second languages in each city at that time. This was 1965 and this is 1935. Compared to 1965, we can see even more diversity in the most common second languages spoken in the western part of the country. First of all, it can be seen that Greek was even more common in the west as a second language. Moreover, in 1935, 6 additional cities had Greek as the most popular language after Turkish. Another surprise is in the city of Muğla. I triple-checked it, and according to the census records, Persian is the most commonly spoken second language in Muğla. We see that Armenian appears in this map as well. In the northern city of Kastamonu, Armenian seems to be the most popular language after Turkish. And finally, we see the Romani language being popular in 4 cities. As some of you know, this language is spoken by the Romani communities around the world. To compare and contrast better, let's take a look at 2 of these maps simultaneously. For the last few decades, there hasn't been any official records that could measure this as substantially as these population censuses. However, I believe today, due to immigration from the eastern to western cities of Türkiye, the most common second language after Turkish would be Kurdish in pretty much all of the cities. Let's take a trip back in time to see the ancient names of the cities of Türkiye. Most of the names you see here were used in ancient Greek, Roman, and Byzantine periods. I guess Istanbul's old name Constantinople would be the most commonly known one. Other than that, the modern day names of some cities are pretty similar to the old ones. For example, Ankara was known as Angora, Bursa as Prusa, Trabzon as Trebizond. There are also some cities whose modern names are completely different. For example, Mersin was known as Zefiryon, Şanlıurfa as Edessa, Aydın as Tralleis, and Eskişehir as Dorilaeum. We are taking a break on languages and diving into something different. Here we see Istanbul versus Türkiye. The population of the 27 cities in eastern Turkey that are shown in blue equals to the population of Istanbul. As of 2022, Istanbul's population is 15.9 million. If geopolitically considered as a part of Europe, then Istanbul is the most populated city on the continent. In addition, it is the 15th largest city in the world by population. In the previous map, we talked about Istanbul versus Türkiye. However, in this one, we ramp up the competition and change it to Istanbul versus world. The population of each 160 countries and dependent territories that are marked with blue on this map is less than Istanbul. Istanbul is really a vast city and almost a different universe. With 260 diplomatic missions, Turkey has the 5th largest diplomatic network in the world. The top 4 of the list consists of China, the United States, France, and Japan. Turkey does not have any diplomatic missions in European countries of Andorra, San Marino, Liechtenstein, and Iceland. In the Asian countries of Armenia, Syria, Nepal, Bhutan, North Korea, and Timor-Leste. In the African countries of Central African Republic, Liberia, Malawi, Lesotho, and Eswatini. In the American countries of Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guyana, Suriname, and Jamaica. And in the Oceanian country of Papua New Guinea. When it comes to the small island nations that are recognized by the UN, only Trinidad and Tobago has a Turkish diplomatic mission. And map 8, but this is kinda more dismal than the previous ones. Here, the countries that are marked in blue scored worse than Turkey in the 2023 Press Freedom Index. I'm unsure what elements are taken into consideration when this index is calculated, but it appears that Turkey's ranking is 165 out of 180 countries. The country with the highest press freedom is Norway, and the lowest is North Korea. Some of the countries that have a lower press freedom than Turkey are China, Iran, Syria, Eritrea, Iraq, Myanmar, Honduras, Saudi Arabia, and Cuba. The average life expectancy in Turkey is 78.6 years, ranking it as the 53rd highest among 201 countries and dependencies. And here on our 9th map, you see the life expectancy in Turkey by city. As we can see, the 4 cities that are shown in dark red in eastern Black Sea coast of Turkey are where people live the longest. And I'm pretty sure that these people would have liked this video and subscribed to this channel. The city where the life expectancy is the lowest is Kilis at 76.1 years. The city with the highest life expectancy is Gümüşhane with 80.8 years. Let's start with a quick trivia. According to the 2019 data, with 51 million visitors, Turkey is the 6th most touristic country in the world in terms of annual international visitors. The reason I'm using the 2019 data is because it was the last year before the COVID pandemic, which had a massive negative impact on international tourism. The countries that surpassed Turkey with more tourists are France with 90 million visitors, Spain with 83, the United States with 79, China with 65, and Italy with 64. Also in the same year, Istanbul was ranked the 10th most visited city in the world. Alright, now we have a bonus map, and it's about Türkiye and banana. Here you see that in almost all European languages, the word for banana is a variant of banana itself. Even in languages like German and Finnish, which can have totally different words, it's a version of banana. But in Turkish, banana is called muz, which is kinda pretty unique and cool, I would say. And this is the end. Thanks for watching, and see you folks in the next video.